My thing is not about Mike. Mike is solidified.
One more point.
LeBron has gotten there in years where he was never supposed to get there. And I hear you talk about his finals losses often. But I think that matters. Number one,
I don't blame him for losing the first one to San Antonio. That wasn't his fault. It's a miracle he got them to the finals. He made me get mad respect for that. And the last time they lost to San Antonio, I don't blame him for that because D Wade was hurt. And you needed D Wade, and D Wade's knees was shot. I don't blame LeBron for that. So those are two finals losses that I don't blame him for. I certainly don't blame him for two of the losses against Kevin Durant because Golden State was loaded, and my God, KD with Clay and Steph. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. No, I don't blame him for that. But I will blame him for this. Oh, Dallas is on you, bro. Dallas is on you. That's number one. That's a fact.
I believe that sports analysts like Stephen A.Smith has these drilled in talking points that's just implanted in his head from ESPN. I think somehow he's also programmed as well because he's programmed from a fan perspective, hearing other talking points. Like just watching from a fan perspective. Don't you know how you watch TV? Everybody seemed to believe that LeBron James, the media they'll drill in your head that LeBron James is somehow in the conversation with Michael Jordan. He share like skill with Michael Jordan. And that's just far from the case. It's almost like if you listen, LeBron James is given every excuse. He says, I don't fault LeBron James for what happened in the 2007 finals. But they're not considering the fact that LeBron James got outballed by Tony Parker, a young Tony Parker, not Tim Duncan, who's arguably one of the greatest power forwards of all time. He didn't get outballed by him. He got outballed by Tony Parker. Tony Parker won Finals MVP. Kawhi Leonard won Finals MVP. A lot of these players who aren't superstars are getting Finals MVP over LeBron James. That should be a knock on him because Jordan, Kobe would never allow it. The same way he brought up Jason Terry. Go back and watch the clip. So in the 2011 finals, Jason Terry was guarding LeBron James. And then you had J.J. Barea. These guys are smaller than LeBron. And another point that he said that I want to highlight is when he mentioned LeBron James in that game, in that All-Star game where Kobe was guarding him. Not to mention, I don't know if that was the following year or like 2 years later in the All-Star game, where Kobe made it a point that he was going to be very physical. He was going to guard LeBron James from the inbound. 94 feet, he decided that he was going to guard LeBron James and lock him up. He wanted to prove a point. LeBron James is mentally weak, and that should be a knock against him. And it's not just a knock from early on in his career. It's been going on throughout his career. It's just that LeBron James has done a phenomenal job at controlling the narrative. That a lot of things get swept under the rug and gets ignored. He says he also don't fault LeBron James for losing to the Golden State Warriors. Then what do you fault LeBron James for? If he gets a pass for every finals that he's lost, except for one, he says you can't blame him for the second Spurs series. And I'm just rambling right now, but I'm just freestyle. But he said he don't even fault him for the second finals that he lost against the San Antonio Spurs because Dwayne Wade was injured. He wanted Dwayne Wade. LeBron James is the one who assembled these teams. That's why context is key. That San Antonio Spurs team were old. Tim Duncan was 38 years old, or 37 if I'm not mistaken. Manu Ginobili was 35. Tony Parker was 32. Kawhi Leonard was the young, inexperienced player who's never won the finals before. You won too. You think that Michael Jordan would allow Kawhi Leonard to lock him down? You think that Kobe would allow a young Kawhi Leonard to lock him down to the point where he's at the free throw line? He look back and be like, F. You think that Michael Jordan is going to allow that? So he wanted those super teams. He the one who quit the first time. In the 2007 finals, he couldn't win one game. He's LeBron James. If you get to that finals, that means you had a team to get you there. If you was that great to get there, you should have been that great to finish. You find a way to win. There's no way that Michael Jordan gets to the finals. He's that great enough to get to the finals. So the Detroit team that they went up against were just as good, and they were the same age. I'm talking about that 2007 year. Go back and do the research. That 2017, the Detroit Pistons that they went against were just as good, and they were the same age as that San Antonio Spurs team. And they'll never bring this up. The Detroit Pistons' best defensive player wasn't even on the team during that time. And Ben Wallace, he defeated a Detroit Pistons team without their best player and Ben Wallace. So if you were able to defeat that Detroit Pistons team, you should have been able to at least go 7 games with that San Antonio Spurs team. So that's your fault. They don't speak about the turnovers down the stretch. They don't speak about how one of his teams won 66 games. They don't talk about how he went to the finals before. In 2007, he went to the finals before. So when he went up against the Orlando Magic, you had more experience. You had a better record than the Orlando Magic. And you hadn't been to the finals before. So you know how to get there. You were part of the problem, and you robbed us of not seeing the Kobe versus LeBron matchup that we anticipated and we wanted to see for years. You can't absolve him from all these mishaps. He's at fault. And the one key thing that you said, Stephen A., is mentality. He lacks the heart. I'm not even going to talk about the later years. We could talk about LeBron choking on so many different occasions. We could bring it all the way up to 2020 when he just most recently won his 2020 finals. But we ain't even going to speak about that because I don't want this video to be too long. But let's talk about, I think it was a 2017 finals when Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors. And I'm going to ask you this question. Y'all don't want to fault LeBron James, and y'all make an excuse for him losing to that juggernaut, the so-called juggernaut in the Golden State Warriors, right? Well, one, Kawhi Leonard, if I'm not mistaken, they said if he had a night got injured and Zaza Pachulia not been in Kawhi Leonard's landing space and purposely injured him, as they say, then y'all believe that because Kawhi Leonard won the first game. So y'all were of the thinking that Kawhi Leonard would have defeated the Golden State Warriors. So y'all believe that Kawhi Leonard would have been able to defeat the Warriors by himself, right? But y'all don't think that Michael Jordan would have been able to do it when Kawhi Leonard had a chance to? You don't think that Michael Jordan would have defeated that Golden State Warriors team, that stacked Warriors team with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, when Kevin Durant has already shown signs of being mentally weak? You don't think that Michael Jordan would have smelled blood in the water? You don't think he would have got a sense of that? And that would have played a factor to him, Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman stopping those boys? Remember, the year before Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors, he blew a 3-1 lead. So he done already showed you signs and tendencies of being mentally weak. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they blew a 3-1 lead the year before, right? So you don't think that Michael Jordan would have been able to take care of the Golden State Warriors knowing that all 4 of those stars, so-called stars, blew a 3-1 lead? They all had something in common. LeBron James should have took on a task of guarding Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving hit the shot for you last year. You still had Kyrie Irving on your team, who y'all said is better than Steph Curry. So you still got that same super team. You wanted to build a super team with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. So you don't think that Michael Jordan, who you said yourself was mentally tougher than LeBron. Remember? He was mentally tougher than LeBron. He had more heart than LeBron. He was a 10-time scoring champion. All NBA defense. 9 all-time first NBA defense. And you don't think that he would have stopped Kevin Durant and them boys? Jordan would have had 20 titles in this era. He would have averaged 40. LeBron James is not top 2 with Michael Jordan. Never. And y'all keep moving the goalposts. At first it was LeBron James. It was a conversation that he could be better. Look at where you started at till now. At first it was LeBron James is just as great as Michael Jordan. He might be better than Michael Jordan. Now you're saying he's second. Pretty soon it's going to be, well, maybe he's third. Maybe he's fourth. Maybe he's fifth. He's not even greater than Kobe. Kobe won 2 championships without top 75 players. And guess what? They said that Kobe Bryant, a knock against Kobe, is the reason he's not considered top 2 is because he had those 3 championships with Shaq. But Shaquille O'Neal was already established as a star player in the league. He done already went to the finals. Penny Hardaway, he was already established as a star. He came to the Lakers as a superstar. It was his team. So you mean to tell me, hypothetically, if Shaq was drafted to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but Shaq was already there and it was his team, you think that the franchise going to say, all right, well, Shaq is no longer your team. He's still in his prime. It's no longer your team now. It's LeBron's.